One of the biggest features of SimCity 2013 is coming to Cities Skylines 2, and we have to talk about how this will affect gameplay and also how this will affect your economy in Cities Skylines 2. And you might be wondering, what kind of feature is that? Well, when SimCity 2013 came out, it was a game which had a lot of issues, and one of their biggest features was also the most controversial one, and that was the idea that when you build a city, you can also have multiple cities surrounding you, which will help you with your main city, and those cities could be also created by your friends or family, and then you could support each other. Problem was, this was actually just a well-hidden, always online DRM function, so that you had to play this game with a permanent internet connection, and a lot of people were really pissed about that. Now, the good news, that feature is coming to Cities Skylines 2, and before you panic, no, that doesn't mean that you have to be connected with the internet to actually utilize this feature, or you have to be connected to the internet to play Cities Skylines 2 at all, because that is not what's happening. What is coming is the idea that you now have multiple cities around you, which you can utilize to make more money, or you can utilize to support your city. Now, to make this clear, those cities are not there physically. Like, you cannot just move over to them like in SimCity. They're more like ghost towns or imaginary cities which are working in the background. They have their own thing going on there, but they will affect the city you are managing. And now we have to talk about the economy, because the economy will get affected from this, and the economy has gotten a big overhaul in Cities Skylines 2. In Cities Skylines 1, economy was pretty simple, let's face it. You were just building more houses and more industry, more people were moving in, you would make the taxes from that, end of story, right? You didn't really have too many options and too many ways on how you could interfere with how much money you will make there. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you didn't have anything to do there in the first one, but in comparison to what the second one is offering, it's a huge step forward. Yes, you are still making most of your money through taxes. So what you want is, you want to have people in your city who have money they can spend. You want to have industry who makes money so that you can gain all the taxes out of it, right? But what they are now doing is a little bit more interesting, because you can directly interfere with like different wares. You can change like how much those wares cost in taxes, how much taxes people have to pay on houses, and so on and so forth. You have so much more options. And that means you have to take care also more on your industry. And they're now taking the industry DLC from the first one and put it into the base game of Cities Skylines 2. And that's really important, because let me give you an example. Let's say you want to build an oil industry, right? And you have some oil on your map, and then you are preparing everything so that the industry can gather the oil, and you will make some money from that after they have been selling everything, and you get taxes from that, right? Pretty simple. Problem is now that the oil on your map can be depleted. It is not an infinite resource. And to make this clear, Paradox has explained that even if you deplete the resource, you will still gain that resource. But instead of saying that you get 100 barrels per day with the oil, you will only get 2 barrels. Keep in mind, those numbers are made up, but it will be drastically less than before. And that now means you have an oil industry, but you did run out of oil. That's not really great, right? You are needing more oil than you produce. What can you do about it? Well, good news, you can import the oil from those imaginary cities around you. And yes, you can also sell your wares to those ghost towns around you, with the note that you will make less money, or the industry will make less money from that than actually selling it to the people in your town. Why? Because transportation cost is much, much higher. So what you try to do is you are trying to keep everything inside your city and you would try to sell the wares there because you are hoping that you make the most money out of it, under normal circumstances, that is. And now, what you can also now do is you can also interact more with those ghost towns or imaginary cities. And how that works, we have to take a look at, let's say, electricity, right? In the first one, you were just creating as much electricity as you needed, because if you had too much electricity, it was just lying around and you couldn't really further utilize it, besides of waiting for the point where you need more electricity in your city. In the second one, you can now sell that electricity, right? And make some extra money out of that because you are selling it to those imaginary cities around you. And that goes with other things as well. Or vice versa, you can import electricity. Let's say it's the summer, everyone is just like melting away. They want to go inside, they want to cool down, and everyone is just ramping up their electric tools to do so. And you realize, damn, I'm not producing enough electricity. Let's import that from other towns around me. And then you can basically fix that issue. And this is how they are trying to incorporate this new system we have first seen 10 years ago in SimCity with some of the economy, which is now in Cities Skylines 2. And I really like that, and I hope it works out, because I really loved the feature back in SimCity 2013, but because on how they implemented it, I felt like it wasn't as good as it could be, and I hope that Cities Skylines is doing it better. With that said, we're at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Here on the Mole Under Management channel, we are completely focusing on strategy games and, of course, a lot of Cities Skylines in the next few weeks. Thank you so much for watching. Also, huge shout out to all the new people coming in. Thank you very much for that as well. And if you still have some ideas, thoughts, let me know down below in the comments. With that said, stay safe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.